Cluttered Corner, and I'm here today with Ray Johnston.
Hello, good.
How are ya?
First timer in the corner.
I know, welcome.
Is it cluttered with a K?
You know what? It's not, but it should be.
Yeah,
Let's work on that.
I didn't know how to tag it on my social media today, so cluttered with a C.
That's right,
Okay,
yes.
Cool. Good to be here. You got quite a lot of great swag. I actually was very motivated in bringing something original, and I failed on that, so I just brought you a bunch of quantity today.
Hey, we take what we can get. We love it all.
Good.
Well, we need to introduce the other person in this shot. Well,
yes,
person.
This is a part of my band. Part of the Ray Johnston band is little dude, Johnston right here. This is my almost 2-year-old Boykin Spaniel. And for the people watching, he's not dead. He's just napping really still.
He's a good boy.
He's either hunting, napping, or traveling. And he's had him since eight weeks. He's registered my service dog and trying to get Cody Johnson to go hunt with me to see what a real bird dog's like.
Oh, I think that was a dig, Cody.
And I've been sending some videos to Josh Abbott that dude is not good at fetching up birds that aren't hit. And Josh isn't too good of a shooter. Did I say that?
Was that out loud?
Were we recording?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, this is dude, and he travels everywhere with me.
Well, let's talk about him being your service dog.
Yeah.
You had leukemia. You're in remission.
Yes.
Which is wonderful.
Yes, I agree.
I'm sure you do. Well, let's talk about when that happened in your life.
Very strange story. God's plan. Never saw it coming. Rarely do you. You know. In 2004, when I was playing with the Dallas Mavericks, I was diagnosed 3 months into my career, and it was so in my body. It was 84% in my body, and so they had to immediately drug induce me into a coma. And during that coma, I had some seizures, and so with that, I fortunately am alive today. This is not fake video. And so that's 2004. Now we're in 2013, and it's relapsed a few times, but been in remission for 3 years now, and had a bone marrow transplant on a successful clinical trial drug. And dude is actually registered legally to be my seizure dog, so he can smell if my body is emitting a scent that would be a seizure, and so he gets to go on the airplanes and hotels with me. It's a great legal loophole to bring my best friend with me. So.
No kidding, it's awesome, and he's adorable too.
The security at your office was not very strict on bringing him up, so.
No, we're pretty laid back around here. Well, let's talk about your CD. This is your debut CD.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's called Against the Grain.
Yes, ma'am.
And how long has it been out?
And September 25th of 2012 is when it was released. And we started working on it back in the early spring of 2012. And Ken Tondry, Kevin Fowler's drummer and one of the best producers in country and pop music, I think, was just like a great coach to me. I kind of arrived at his studio with, I was a lot more green than he realized, and so he guided me along the way. And he had some songwriters that kind of worked with him on an hourly basis, and so they were able to look at my songs, and we said, is that right? And we took our time on making them good. And it's just an EP, so which is actually, you're seeing that a lot these days, these EPs. And I like the EP strategy. It gives you, more good songs rather than a lot of quantity songs and maybe some, B minuses. And so, we went with it. And I say it's somewhere in between like Pat Green, Dave Matthews, and Zach Brown sound. And so I'm trying to make my own little brand and sound just like we all are in the industry. And so, put it out in September 2012. My first single, Me, You, and Emmylou.
Which is a great song.
Thank you. That was written by Tom Shepard. I didn't know if you knew that. I always have to give the writers the credit. I'm one of those artists that 75% of my stuff I write and 25% I go to awesome writers like Tom. And I say, please. And so Me, You, and Emmylou peaked at 15, I believe. It was on the
did very well.
For like 5 months. And I was so happy. I actually, I'm not really familiar with how the radio thing works in our region. And man, what a blessing to live in a state that can have its own, music scene. And very fortunate to live in Texas.
Amen.
And so that went great. It kind of allowed my name to get out there. I told my radio promoter that I was going to hustle and meet all the radio folks I could. And there's a lot of miles in this state. By the way, Houston could be its own state. Heavens to Betsy, I've been here since Monday, and I feel like I've gone to Rhode Island and Alabama and back or something. There's a lot of miles here.
There really is. It's a huge city.
And so my radio promoter right now is Ed Spacek, and he sent out my next single, Bye Bye City Lights, as you know, and it's looking good. It's doing well.
Well, let's talk about that song. Who wrote that one? You did?
I wrote that, yes, ma'am, and then one of Ken's guys that helps him, Lang Freeman, kind of helped me with the melody a little bit, so he's listed as a co-writer, even though I did the bulk of the work, heavy lifting.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. Look at those guns. They need more curls.
And not the 12-ounce curls?
No, I'll never do those. Just do pony kid curls.
There you go. That's right. Well, give us a quick summary of that song.
I wrote it at my duck lease, my old duck lease in Bonham. Texas, which is northeast, one of the most underrated duck spots of the state of Texas. And it was one of those days where it's just when tranquility and thankfulness just kind of fluttered me and just overwhelmed me, and I was just driving along one of those small little farm to market roads, just me and my dog, and I just was driving, and very rarely do I write a song without my guitar, and I just was driving, and I just remember going, bye-bye, city lights, give me a country night. Where's my iPhone? I got to tackle that. That's a good melody. That's a good melody. And so I recorded my voice on it, and which is like a lot of our colleagues do these days, and went back to my guitar to see what key it was in, and then kind of meshed the chords with it, and it turned out to be a goodie. It was just a day when I live in Dallas, and I'm very thankful to live in Dallas. I moved to Dallas knowing one person, so every success, failure, and everything in between happened because of the relationships I made in Dallas. And I do think anything good in life comes from a relationship. And it's a great quote by my pastor 3 years ago, and I use it a lot.
I don't blame you.
And so, but there are times where there's a little too much city in there for me. And so about half of my life I'm in the country somewhere, and half of life I'm in the city. And so I was out in Bonham and just had a nice overcast, thankful day, and that's how I wrote it.
That's awesome.
And got a limit of ducks.
Hey, even better.
He fetched them up.
That's one of his working moments.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Well, if people want to find out more about you, where do they go?
I think I am doing good at social media. You'll vouch for me, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe it's because of my ADD, but maybe it's a good ADD. Everything is branded Ray Johnston Band, and that T is very important.
It is.
There is another band called Ray Johnston Band, which is not me. And so it's Ray Johnston Band, and that's rayjohnstonband.com. That's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And a lot of the people you have in the Cluttered Corner have now become my friends, and I love that about this. And I just posted this on Instagram recently. To me, the Texas country scene, some people still call it that. Some people call it Texas music scene. I call it the genre of good. There's just a lot of good music. You know, some people like American Aquarium go a little bit different. They're actually out of North Carolina. And then you got Uncle Lucius, who's funky and awesome, can be.
Right.
And so, but they're all, I think the main core of these musicians that you have in here and bands and artists is that there's always a prevalent good melody. And I think that's recognized by the buying audience in the market that we get to be friends with at our shows. But some maybe have a saxophone in their band, some may have a fiddle in the band.
That's right.
And so what's been cool is I especially saw this in Steamboat when I was there for the music fest, is that we all get along for the most part. You know, we all got kind of, the artist thing. We're a little too cool for school at times. Not
this scene.
Guys like my friend William Clark Griswold. I call him William Clark Green. It's about time you start listening to Ray Johnston Band, not him. To them ching. And so we're all super goofy too. I kind of discovered that too. And so I like that. That fits along well with my personality. And now I'm at the point in my career where I'm opening for a lot of these guys, and I'm kind of like a walk-on again in basketball, where I kind of got to pay my dues, and I'm happy to, because I believe in the long thing. It's really cool to get to share stages with these guys I got respect for in their craft, but also as folks too. And
right.
You've seen all these interviews. You brought in people, you know more people than I do, and guys like Abbott have been great to me. Kevin Fowler is a big reason why I'm kind of here now. He kind of pulled me aside one day in a very Kevin Fowler way, was like, look here, you're a pretty good singer, pretty good performer, but you got to work on your writing. Fowler doesn't really beat around the bush,
No, that sounds exactly like him.
And got a lot of respect for Jack Ingram, lives in DFW as well. And and I love the Dirty River Boys. I'm actually giving them a little love today. I saw I was wearing some swag for them.
Sweet.
And so anyhow, I kind of ramble on that answer, but
no, but you're right. I mean, this is a great scene for a number of those reasons, and that's why we all love it too. Well, thank you for coming to the corner.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
It's pretty cluttered.
I know.
She married her banker down in New Orleans. Can you believe she named her baby after me and you? It sounds like something she'd do. Me, you, and Emmy Lou.